We're ready to start. Good evening, everyone. We're ready to begin the June 18th Design Review Board meeting. We will start with a roll call.
Board Member Adorcio,
Here.
Vice Chair Rosner,
Here.
Board Member Kim,
Here.
and Chair Chong and Board Member Holscher are absent.
Next is oral communications. This is a time of the meeting where if anyone from the public would wish to address the board about an item that is not on tonight's agenda, they may do so. Is there anyone that wishes to address the board? None in the room. Is there anyone on the Zoom?
I see no hands raised on Zoom.
Okay, great. We'll move on to staff briefing. Is there a staff briefing tonight?
Nothing tonight.
Right, moving on along. Next is a consent calendar. There's one item on the consent calendar, which is to adopt the minutes from June 4th. Does anyone on the board have corrections, or is there a motion?
I'd like to make a motion to approve the minutes from June. What was it? 4th.
Is there a second? All those in favor?
Aye.
None opposed. The motion passes 3-0 with 2 absent. And now we will move on to the public hearings for tonight. There are 3 public hearings. Due to quorum issues with public hearing item number 2, we will be continuing the item to July 16 meeting date. Members of the public are welcome to comment tonight, and any comments provided will be part of the record. However, we encourage you to provide your substantive comments when the item returns, as that will be primary public hearing when the board considers the full project and complete record prior to taking action. To allow for public comments, I'm looking for a motion from the board to modify tonight's agenda to move PH2 to the first item. Is there a motion?
I'd like to make a motion to move PH2 to the July 16th meeting.
No, it's to move public hearing number 2 to public hearing number 1 spot for tonight, to allow for public comment.
Yeah, so what you would do is you would move public hearing number 1 to the front of the agenda since the item is being continued, and to allow public comment pursuant to what Acting Chair Rosner said.
And then the important, if I may, motion would also be to continue it
Yes,
to that
exactly.
date. So
Both. What
just you could move it, sorry. You could move it to PH1, you'll take public comment, and then you will motion to continue it to a date certain.
Okay, I'd like to make a motion to move PH2 to the beginning of the agenda tonight
Is there a second?
for a public hearing.
All those in favor?
Aye.
None opposed. The motion passes. So we will be moving to public hearing number 2. Is there anyone in the room that wishes to address the board for public comment?
Okay, thank you.
For 110 Mount Tiburon? There's no one in the room. Is there anyone on the Zoom that wishes to make a public comment?
I see no hands raised.
Okay, seeing none, I'd be looking for a motion to continue.
I'd like to make a motion to continue PH2 to July 16th.
Is there a second? All those in favor?
Aye.
None opposed. The motion passes 3-0 with 2 absent. And next we will move to public hearing number 1. But first, now will be the time for any board members to make any disclosures about visiting properties during any site visits for both PH1 and PH3.
I'll disclose that I went to 3 East Terrace and the neighbor. What is it?
21 North Terrace?
Yeah, 21 North Terrace. I made that visit. And then I did visit 215 Blackfield Drive at Colchafar this afternoon.
Similarly, I walked around 3 East Terrace. I also visited 21 North Terrace and did meet with the neighbor and walked around the property. And I also drove around the 215 Blackfield Drive parking lot.
I went to 3 East Terrace. I'm sorry, I did not write down the address, but the neighbor directly behind it, using a ladder, looking over the back of the fence to observe the property and project. And walked around the property several times and drove by on what's the address here? Of the
255.
second project, yes.
Great. Alrighty, now we will invite the applicant for 3 East Terrace to the podium, a microphone. You have, the applicant will have 20 minutes to present to the board. The board may have some questions. Then we will open it to public comment where members of the public will have 3 minutes each to address the board. And then the applicant will have 5 minutes to address any of those comments, and then we'll close public hearing to deliberate.
I just wanted to start off by saying thank you for reviewing our application today and going by the property to see what the property looks like. My name is David Grabham. I'm the owner of G Design, G Family Construction, design build construction firm in Marin, Santa Fe. We do many projects in Tiburon, worked with Samantha on quite a few projects. And always look to her for great guidance and advice. And so we started this project at 3 East Terrace 7 or 8 months ago, working with my client Liz O'Neill. She's here behind me. And initially started out with a kitchen remodel, which grew to living room remodel, lower level reconfigure, and a deck reconfigure. I don't know what you guys did at 3 East Terrace walking around, but if you looked at over the fence, I guess you could see the placement of the furniture and the sizing of the decks in the property and how the property is used today, which is not very well designed. And so some of the issues that she had was the furniture is very tight. The access to the lower level is almost non-existent as you weave through the furniture, and trying to get down to the pool doesn't connect the 2 decks. And so I believe the main thing we're talking about is the back decks. So I'm just going to kind of shine over the kitchen interior remodel. I don't think that has much to do with this meeting today. So we started out with, oh, I'm sorry, is this the clicker? One of the things we always try to do when we go into design projects is think about the neighbors and the privacy between the neighbors. Obviously, both neighbors would like to maintain privacy. And so one of the things we tried to do was push the furniture toward the middle of the deck. And so, and shift the dining room away. Right now, you can see there's the fire pit right on the edge of the deck. And then there's a dining table, and there's barely enough room to walk by those to get to the stairs as they are today. Sorry, do I press that button? Oh, sorry. There we go. Great. Okay, so the second scan is showing same thing. Let's see, here we go. This is, we do a LiDAR scan of every property that we do in order to help us review the design and see potential concerns between the neighbors and how we're designing our projects. And so this is the point cloud of the property. And so you can see in our scan the big magnolia tree right there. This is basically, you can see kind of the overhead view in the first picture, and then just right above the roof. And then this third picture, figure 3, would be standing on the deck. It's a little blurry, I apologize, but you can see there, right above the fence, there's just a little teeny bit of his roof line right there. And so, when we initially started the design of this project, seeing the deck and the layout and the big tree led us to believe that there wasn't much of a concern for privacy because that tree basically blocks the whole house. And the view we felt like from the deck out didn't really change that much. So this is the point cloud. So you can see the old fence with the new fence. You can see the new couch and the new furniture we put in that we modeled. And so the black railing you can see is the new fence. And this is basically standing there looking out. There's the tree, which is, as I mentioned, the point cloud. So that's not a modeled tree. That's the actual tree. And this shows an overhead view and then the view of the deck and how you're looking into the yard. These are just photos of the view from the deck now, which basically again show the magnolia tree existing privacy screen. And then the first photo there is the actual story poles of the stairs coming down and looking at the story poles toward the neighbor. The first photo is laurels that when Liz had lost a few trees, screen cover in the backyard. She graciously planted to try to maintain her privacy in the backyard with the neighbor from the pool. So I'm sure when you peeked your head over the fence, maybe that's the neighbor you were looking through the fence, and you can see she's trying to screen that to maintain the privacy between the two properties. This is a photo, a rendering. We had thought that a nice way to try to maintain the privacy between the two neighbors, which we realized became an issue after we had submitted and get a couple letters from the neighbor right next door, that potentially maybe we could add some additional screening on the side yard. And what you're seeing there in the red, it says edge of neighbor's house. That's actually the roof line right there of the house. And then the line, it goes back, and then he has like a 3-foot roof line, it goes down. And so we thought this might be a nice way to potentially create more privacy between the two properties. One of the ways, one of the ways this was designed with the staircase was to create as I mentioned before, a better flow connection down to the lower deck so that it's easier to get down to the lower yard and utilize the lower deck. We also put the staircase strategically in that position so that it gives kind of a buffer, visual buffer between the two neighbors, which it doesn't have anything like that now. Some of the things additionally that we had done to create more privacy for both neighbors. You can see this in the picture, top picture on the right. This is the existing window, full height window 4x6, I think it is, which basically looks right down into the courtyard of the neighboring house, which is where the neighbors basically hang out, is their yard. The behind their house is their backyard, which according to our client doesn't get used very much, but the main yard is the interior courtyard, which is right outside this window in the family room window. And so one of the things, the viewpoint up from that, it was very important for our client to try to reduce the kind of viewpoint between the two, the eye-to-eye contact. And so we lifted that window and we put cabinets there so that nobody would be like standing there looking out the window, basically. There's a picture of that window. And so we almost cut that window size in half. There's a picture of how it is now. It's hard to see through that window, but that's basically the house on the other side of that window. In conclusion, we felt like this was a very modest project. We've done some very large projects in Tiburon that haven't even made it to the town council. We try to do neighborhood outreach. The owner of the next door neighbor property, we know this has been a rental for the last 10 years or more. And so unfortunately, we didn't do, I would say, enough reaching out before to talk to David about this project. We did meet with him today and tried to make a resolution, but he can speak to his feelings on that. But as I mentioned, we felt like this was a very modest addition. It corrects the space for her. I don't think it's like an aggressive, huge deck up there that comes out, 15 or 20 feet. We're just trying to get just enough to furnish the space. It's still tight, but it's enough to have a connected living space on the main living level, which is basically on that main living level, right through that sliding door is her kitchen, and then dining room and family room on the upper level. Obviously, in everybody's house, privacy is equally important for both neighbors. And so again, when we designed this, we tried to respect that and create a plan that we felt was modest, but effective. And so I would respectfully request design approval tonight for our project. And I appreciate you taking the time to listen to me. And I'll see you in a few minutes. Do you have any questions?
There's no landscape plan that was submitted, right?
No,
Okay.
no.
Do you have any questions, Jim?
Yes, I do. Tell me again the difference between your finished rendering and your existing rendering.
Sure. The finished rendering is on the bottom. And so you can see on the top, the deck comes out probably around 7 feet. I actually have the plan right here. Yeah, let me tell you exactly.
Yeah, my question, which would be helpful to understand the existing depth and then the proposed depth of that.
Right, because neither one is the existing deck, correct?
Yeah, the top rendering is the existing plan and the bottom is the new. And I have those right here. I just can't see because it's dark and my eyes are.
This is.
Hang on, I can get my flashlight.
Yeah. Well, okay.
Oh,
Just
there
that
you
there's
go. Wait, can you read this right here?
this doesn't come out that much and there's a hot tub right there. It says, I mean.
Hey, sorry.
Oh, okay, yeah, if I could have my BIM specialist jump on, he's at the computer at our office
Sure.
and can give us measurements. I'm sorry, I don't have measurements. Hey, Lamb, could you give us the measurement of the upper deck existing?
Yeah, it's 8'9" for the existing, 8'9".
Right, and do you want to know the new deck and the new?
So we added 5'10" for the new, so total 14'7" roughly.
Great, thank you.
Yeah.
And I think you still had a question, Jim?
I did, just again, the existing deck has a hot tub. And I don't see that on there, and the existing deck doesn't have that extension out to the right side.
I'm sorry, Jim. You're absolutely right. There is a hot tub. It's on the lower deck, not on the upper deck. And so you might be looking at the lower deck, which is a 2.0.
Yep.
Okay.
And so if you look at sheet A2.2, that'll show you the existing upper deck. And so the lower deck is actually quite a large deck that actually goes 5 feet past the house, closer to the neighbor. And so I could show you the model, but we're not allowed to share, I guess, through Zoom. So basically right now you can see that upper rendering. The furniture actually goes almost to the property line because the deck is 5 feet off. And so that's another reason we put the stairs there, is it actually pushed all the furniture around 10 feet further away from the property line on the lower deck. And so again, that was part of the design scheme, was to create more of a buffer and privacy between the neighbors. 10 feet in Marin is a lot. So.
I just want to go over this extra 78 square feet. So it's on the top deck. And then the stairs, because it's just moving the stairs, there's no increase. I don't know how we do it. Is it half the area or half something?
Yeah, and just point of clarification, so that lower deck at the first floor, that is less than 3 feet above grade. So that,
It's flat.
yeah, so it doesn't
Yeah.
count. So there's no change there. So the modifications to lot coverage account for the change in the layout of the upper deck and then the portion of the new staircase that's above 3 feet. So the lower end of the stairs does not count towards lot coverage, and the 78 square feet is 50% of the amended deck area.
Even though there was an existing stair, you still have to count that again? Because there's an existing stair there. So wouldn't that just go away?
It's sort of a net difference. It's like it's the net difference.
It's a net
m-
there.
it's-
Yeah. So it's basically 78 square feet and it's just a 15. Within that, only 15 is over the lot coverage. So the other portions of 78 minus 15 is already allowed.
Oh, sorry, 78 is half, so I can't do mental math right now. 78 times 2 is the area of the new deck. So we're only counting 78 square feet of new lot coverage.
But the variance is only for 15 square feet.
Right, because that's the net difference
Yeah.
between what was
Yeah,
existing.
exactly.
Sorry.
Yeah. Okay. Just wanted to confirm. So we're just talking about 15-foot variant, 15 square foot in area variance. Okay.
Right,
thank you.
this property was developed and constructed prior to current standards, so it was already an existing non-conforming
Okay.
lot coverage of 22.4.
One other thing is about the landscaping plan that's not there. So are you proposing that there are going to be laurels there every how many feet? What's the box size of the thing at planting, et cetera?
We had mentioned that we would be willing to plant them tight to create a green wall was the idea. And so we would refer to a landscaper for that. But basically in our rendering, I think they start at like 5 feet and they grow 3 feet in a year. And then you just basically trim them. These ones in this picture here, I think are a year old, Liz. And so those are almost 7 feet tall now. Or I don't know, you saw for the backside of the fence, but I think they're 7 to 8 feet. And so the idea is to do something like this where it's totally screened in.
And so if you get an 8-foot laurel right now, what is the box? Can that fit in that little swath of land right there?
Oh yeah, there's 10, more than 10 feet there. So
Okay. And then the other question is, I don't know the girth of those at maturity. So are we talking like 5 foot on center? Are they planted 10 foot at center?
no, usually you plant them around every 3 feet.
Every 3 feet.
Yeah,
And
and then they kind of grow into each other to create a hedge. And you trim them, and so you can keep them at like 2 feet deep, 3
Okay.
feet deep. Would
is there
be
a
pretty thick.
species? Do you have a species of laurel?
No, and this was just mentioned today, and so we, as potentially an offering, for trying to create privacy, we thought that was the concern. So we felt like this is what I've done many times in other projects, and so we just put this in literally today
Okay.
into our packet.
How many, I can't see right now because it's so dark, but how many feet of, if you plant two on center, how many, what is the length of that area? Targeted area, like how many do you think you could plant there?
Actually right to the left, right there,
Yep.
there's already more. And so what they would do basically is just plant that fence.
So
You know,
it's like 4,
just-
5, 6,
I think it's more like 10.
10. Okay.
Yeah, and so
Okay.
that's probably, that actually continues further in that picture, but there's probably, right there, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And so 10 would basically cover the whole entire fence from the house.
So
forward.
5 additional to make total of 10.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. This is actually the back neighbor's house. And so we talked about potentially planting, like if you take the building straight out to the fence and then planting 10 that way the
On
fence.
their lot side or your side?
On our side.
On your side. Okay. Just want to make it clear.
Yeah.
I have one, sorry to bring back for the dimensions. So we talked about the depth is 14 feet 7 inches. Can you tell me the width or the length, I guess, of, I know it's a oddly shaped deck, but of where in your floor plan like the furniture is, it can be loosely like rectangular. Is it around like 20 feet? What is
Yeah.
that?
Yep. Exactly.
You can exclude, but like below the
Oh.
stairs, just where the kind of the furniture.
So from the stairs, say 2 feet past the table.
Sure. Yeah, that sounds.
Lamb, could you give me that measurement from the stairs to 2 feet past the table?
Is it for the upper deck or the lower deck? Sorry,
The upper deck, the new upper deck, Lamb.
2 feet past the table. I'm
Yeah.
sorry, I'm not sure I understand like what you guys want to measure.
Okay, it's about 20. That's what I said. It's about 20 because that would move in.
Lamb, measure from the stairs to the back corner of the
That's
pantry,
right.
Oh, got it.
corner of the bedroom.
I think we're good. I think it's around.
Got it.
Yeah, it's right around
About
20 feet.
19 feet, like 18 feet, 10 inches.
Yeah, and so when we try to create like a dining room, we're trying to get 12 by 12 or 12 by 14. When you create a living room, you're trying to get, 16 by 18 or something like that. But we felt like this would be enough.
Okay. Thank you. Any other questions for the applicant? Okay, thanks very much.
Thank you.
I have one question for staff. In terms of guidelines for planting, I've recently learned about like horizontal spacing. I don't know if a request from the fire department, but like guidelines, what is the guidance on that front?
In terms of like, if you were potentially going to condition something, what would you need to adhere to? I think the direction, we did route these to the fire district. We did not get comments regarding landscaping just because there wasn't a landscaping plan. We do have a blanket condition though, that these plans would be routed to the fire district for review and they would need to improve any landscaping plan or, any modification, any improvement as part of this application would have to comply with fire code, which landscaping would fall under. So I am hesitating because we don't have just blanket standards. Like we don't have anything that says it has to be 5 feet off center. You could condition that it needs to provide screening through a certain height or a certain type of species, maybe not being as specific just in case there is a conflicting condition with fire.
So she's
Just wanna
suggesting
handle it.
a performative specification rather than a prescriptive. So the performance is we want it to be opaque versus like saying 2 foot on center, that's very prescriptive. I think that's a guidance.
Sure. I think I was asking
Much better way to
more,
look at.
but if there are limitations on how tight you can plant from the fire department, you may not be able to have a continuous space was what I was asking.
Correct. Any conditions that fire would impose would supersede any condition that we have.
Did
I just can help you with that.
I close the? Okay, go ahead.
So they don't do it for spacing. They do like a 15-foot run, then they want a 5-foot break. That's
Okay.
what's on the plans. And so if you started at the house and then went 15 feet, that would be well past the deck.
Okay,
So,
thank you.
yeah.
All right, now we will open to the public. If anyone in the room would like to address the board, you'll have 3 minutes. You can come to the microphone.
Thank you very much. I just, to mention, there's no mention of
I'm sorry, could you just state your name and
sure.
your address?
David Louis, 21 North Terrace. I'm the neighbor of the people at 3 East Terrace who filed the letter in opposition. And just I wanted to mention to some of your statements, there are no mentions of laurels yet in this document that you have. That's totally a new concept. But anyway, I'll read my thing so I can keep to my 3 minutes. If you have questions, I'm happy to answer. My name is David Louis. I've owned the neighboring house to 3 East Terrace for more than 27 years. I believe that when a neighbor invests in improving their property, it benefits all the surrounding houses. I think saying, let's think twice requires good reason, and I think the reason to think twice is clear. My neighbor filed this application with Design Review in April and clearly started working on it long before. Yet she never sought my input or even informed me that she had approached Design Review. I only learned about the project when the town's notice came in the mail to me last Tuesday. Just 3 weeks ago, I was inside her home when she asked for permission to top some of my trees to improve her view. I agreed. The town's notice went out the following week, and the first time we met regarding these issues was actually this morning. This really isn't the way this process is supposed to work. So why come from Minnesota for this meeting rather than to Zoom with you? To tell you personally that this remodel will have a devastating impact on the privacy and well-being of anyone living in my home, including me when I return. The proposal will transform a small terrace into a large outdoor dining area, relocating a stairwell into the setback between our homes. Those stairs will provide the only access from the expanded upper deck to the pool and lower deck, concentrating all foot traffic next to my house. The applicant's house is already near twice the size that would be permitted today on her undersized lot and extends well beyond 3 setbacks, the setback barriers on 3 sides. She now wants a variance to make it larger, a variance required to move the stairs from the center of her property to a location next to me. There's no reason to make this mammoth house even larger in spite of the neighborhood opposition, especially when it would seriously affect privacy. Maintaining privacy is the heart of Design Review. Yet this proposal makes additions which loom over the most sensitive areas of my home, including the primary bedroom, side deck, back patio, and 2 rear bedroom windows. If the proposed stairs are built, anyone using them will be able to see over the fence for nearly their entire descent. Throughout that walk, they'll be able to see into the bed in the primary bedroom. The small terrace would become a heavily used dining and seating area, adding 421 square feet with increased lighting, noise, and activity, all near my property line and creating substantial intrusions into the privacy of my home. And what the plans don't show is the key here. There's no modeling of lines of sight to adjacent properties, no effort to place the project in the context of surrounding homes.
We're at time if we could have you wrap up.
Okay. In every illustration, the world ends at their property line, and that omission makes these drawings flawed and incomplete. The stairs should be left where they are, and the expansion to the deck built further from my property.
Okay.
That would be reasonable.
Great, thanks very much.
You're welcome.
Does anyone have any questions for public comment?
Not.
All right, thanks very much.
Thank you.
Anyone else in the room? You'll have 3 minutes. Please state your name and address.
I'm Lisa Marassa, and I lived at 21 North Terrace for a decade. Just moved out a couple years ago when my kids went off on their own. Liz and I had a friendly relationship. She was a great neighbor. David was a great landlord. He was really vested in the house, and we have a good relationship that we maintain. He's vested because his intent is hopefully to come back one day. I did just see him a few weeks ago, as he said. He was actually here to see a friend. He has ties here to the community still. And he mentioned that he was doing some of the hardening of when he was here 2 weeks ago, hardening of the landscape. So he started moving around getting rid of the mulch, creating a 5-foot barrier. We talked a little bit about how the magnolia tree, that's so beautiful, but it hangs over the house. Probably, I don't know, it's touching the roof. The trunk of it is only probably 5 feet from the narrow deck that's right outside the bedroom window. So I'm not sure when they cut that tree, it's going to have to be cut eventually. The fires, the ordinances, I think, are changing. I don't know, are they going to be more law eventually and insurance issues? So eventually, sooner rather than later, as he's been talking about, he might have even started trimming the olive tree, but it's going to have to be cut. So I don't think that that's necessarily going to be a screen permanently. Probably half the tree is going to have to come off. I don't even know if that's possible. So right now we can see out the bedroom, the master bedroom. You can see the corner of the deck. It wasn't actually used that much because it was narrow, and the stairs were placed maybe on purpose on the far side away from us. So going up and down wasn't an issue. We didn't hear anyone or weren't disturbed by that. And I think that I volunteered to speak because I just wanted to, say, how would I feel if, the plan came through the way it is? And with having the stairs right next to the fence, I think that the noise and the light and the views inside the bedroom would make it somewhat uncomfortable. And David did some kind of little schematics that he showed me, sent me just the view angle is going to increase. So I know they can see it now if they really looked, if they were standing on the edge, but it will change, negatively impacting the new tenant and, David or whoever's next in that house. So, and we do use that's the only window, that sliding glass door, especially into the master, is the only window in that bedroom. So it is used. And I guess I just had some notes. I think that's it. That was just my take on things. And I hope they can work it out. They're both really nice people. Mhm.
Thank you. Anyone else in the room would like to make public comment? Seeing none, is there anyone on the Zoom?
I see no hands raised on Zoom.
Oh. You're the applicant?
Yep.
You'll have 5 minutes after we close public. No one on the Zoom? Okay, great. Now you can come up. We'll invite the applicant for 5 minutes to address any of the comments or anything else they'd like to share.
Thank you. Hi, my name is Liz O'Neill. I'm the owner of 3 East Terrace and the applicant. Not sure I've got 5 minutes worth of things to say, but yeah, I've lived in the house for 15 years. I've got 3 kids, raised them there. They're teenagers now. We've enjoyed the house a lot. We've enjoyed the upper and lower decks for a very long time. I've not done any substantial work on the house since I moved in, and it's time. It needs the work, especially the deck, to be honest, just in terms of, I think it's probably about a 30-year-old redwood deck. The purpose of the remodel on the upper deck was to make it just functional. There's a few different things going on. I think you saw it. It's very narrow with a normal size sort of picnic table, outdoor dining table. You really have to shimmy around it. And so you're right up against the railing when you're trying to get past it to get down, either to the other side of the table itself or to the stairs that go down to the deck. Also, because of where the stairs are now and because of where the dining table is and the door, all of the furniture ends up getting pushed actually closest to the railing that's closest to the neighbor's yard. So we're essentially like right on top of them all the time when we have activity there. And we're out there a lot in the, spring, summer, and fall until it starts to rain. So part of this design was actually to try to get the activity away. We don't want to look down into their yard. Nobody wants that. Privacy is important for us too. So trying to get the activity away. Same thing with the lower deck. The lower deck moves over as well. So it's helping us to create a little bit of space. The view from the corner of my existing deck, I would not stand there and look down into my neighbor's yard, right? Like there's already line of sight into the yard, magnolia tree or not. It is a, if you stare long enough, you can tell you're looking into somebody's yard. So, the new deck doesn't change that. There's no substantial difference in terms of what you can see. However, very happy to find a way to work it out with some kind of natural screening. And we put in laurels because that's what I put in on my other neighbor's barrier, and it's worked actually quite well. It's almost to roof line level already, and it was only started last year. But happy to talk about what kind of tree, or I don't know what spacing, but the spacing that we did on that back fence, I think it's about every 3 or 4 feet with that particular species of laurel, but you can see that it's a hedge. And the thing that's good about laurels is you can trim them so that they don't get fat. They can stay thin and use all their energy to grow taller, and they grow to about 15 feet in total. So that's what we're hoping can be a solution here that actually works for everybody, is we manage actually to create more privacy through this than we currently have, and we can actually make the decks more functional.
Thank you. Does anyone have any questions? I have one. Did you did you do any exploration around pushing the deck more towards, I guess, the primary bedroom and the other 2 bedrooms? Did you look at that at all, or?
I'm not sure. Which
Maybe the architect. It was just when you were doing some of the design preliminary sketches, instead of it expanding out,
going,
going.
making the fatter part in front of the bedroom.
Yeah.
Is that what you're asking?
Yes, we did.
We did. It's just a weird, I'll let the architect.
The kid
go here.
bedrooms and her bedroom are right there. And so we were there's not a lot of room to create like a good buffer anywhere on either side, but basically those 2 windows are the kids' bedroom windows and then the primary bedroom window. And so creating that deck right out there really limits the use of the deck with people in the bedrooms. So.
And it's primarily a dining situation. So coming from the kitchen, it's just sort of a natural flow there.
Okay, great. Thanks. Any other questions? All right.
Just in any design that included the central stairway. Do you have any? Did you have?
It started with leaving the stairs where they were at, and we couldn't get the stairs to work the way that we were trying to get it. Every time the stairs are going away from the main living deck, and then you're walking around the furniture back to the stairs, and then that limits you can see that the table is literally like 3 feet off the corner the way it is now. And so even if we put the stairs back that way, then you'd have to walk again around that table to try to get to the central steps that then lead you away from the lower deck. And so because of the setback, and the setback allowed us to put the steps in the setback, but the deck can't get any bigger that direction anyways. And so we're stuck between the outside of the deck where it is now and the inside. You can see everything is very tight right there. And it's basically, we have, 2'6" to walk around that to the walkway.
But also the way we configured it now, the edge of the deck that's closest to the neighboring property does not expand, right? It's the same size. You come in, you go down the stairs, and after the stairs is where it gets deeper. If you reconfigure it and try to make it deeper, you're once again going to push all the furniture up against the side that's closest to the neighbor. So that was, we tried a few different options, and this one honestly seemed like the best to us for everybody involved.
Okay, thank you. Any other question? All right, seeing none, we will close public comment and bring it back to the board. Would anyone like to kick us off?
I'll start. I'm comfortable with the design as it is. I think the thing that we have to allow for is the screening with the landscaping. I'm very, very specific about that. And I want it to be higher than the fence height. Maybe 8-foot boxes, because they can grow up from 8 feet to 15 feet, but 8 feet would give it a good start, and giving a screen of at least 15 feet across there. There is an existing deck there. There is an existing deck there. It's there. And to be honest, I do believe that having the stair on this side, on the bottom portion, actually does push the furniture here, because that's how it is right now, right? You want to be away from the stair. You want to sort of center around here. What this stair does is actually push the activity down south in this drawing. So actually, I do think it actually helps, because otherwise this kitchen's right here, right? So you want to occupy this entire thing. But having the stairs here, you want to kind of leave that empty and you want to push the furniture in this area. So I think it actually does enable this situation. It's a tiny, to be honest, it's a tiny ask, 78 square feet. I think it's pushing the activity down here, and I'm comfortable with it. I do feel strongly that we do have to have some type of landscape screening, though, and be very specific about that. And I do want it 2 feet, at least 2 feet above the fence height at planting, not waiting any minute for that. So I think, and privacy works two ways, right? They don't want to be seen while they're sitting on their deck, and they don't want to see, I mean, the neighbors don't want to be seen as they're occupying their space. So privacy is always two ways. So I think it'll benefit both sides. And if it does grow from 8 to 15, so then we say we ask for performance standards so that the hedges or whatever planting is there can grow a max of 15 feet, and that there are very few gaps in between along that 15 feet to cover, to provide. So this is 12 feet right here. Here's another probably 4 or 5 feet. That 15 would be sufficient to cover that. The neighbors are right here. So I feel, and it's not like you're standing on the stairs the entire time, right? It's a transitory piece, furniture, not furniture, but it's a transitory architecture.
And sorry, just to confirm, you visited 21
Yes.
inside?
No, I was outside.
Okay.
And you can see right through it. Up to the neighbor right now. You can see through the trees to the neighbor.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, thank you.
Yeah.
Jim.
Yes, I really did want to see the central stairs be functional and not necessarily be off to the side. I agree. I don't think there's much time that you're spending on the stairway. I think that's a very limited amount of time. I think that was brought out in their discussion. So I guess I'm less concerned about the central stairs than I was when I came in tonight. I do think, though, when I look at this footprint, I can't see over, they keep saying that they're not adding, to the existing deck, the size deck, but this whole corner is built out. I mean, this is a lot bigger than it currently is. I mean, that footprint.
But
That's
that
below.
it's the wooden part that's changed, but that deck's still there,
I
right?
see. That's because they're
Yeah.
counting it out to
Yeah.
this corner.
Yeah.
Okay, and that's why the square footage doesn't really change on that. And I agree. And the absolutely most important thing is the privacy, and you have to have new vegetation in that area. And I think we define it very clearly tonight. You cannot depend on a single tree that's going to have a very limited lifetime.
So that's what worries me, actually. So I went into the property.
Yeah.
And I went into right off the master bedroom, and they have, most of the outdoor area for the neighbor is a deck, kind of a floating deck on grade, right close to the fence. And it's a big gamble on that magnolia tree. And the fence from
Wait, which neighbor? I'm
21.
confused. So you're saying that 21 has a deck on top?
No, it's a
concrete. It's
no.
concrete, yeah.
Was it concrete? Or
Yeah.
was
It was hardened, yeah. It was paved. Part of it was paved.
I'm referring to this section.
Yeah. Okay.
And there's like a pergola on top.
Yeah, that part. Okay. I was talking to this section.
This section.
Yeah.
No, this section.
Yep.
Because the new deck extends here, and you only have that magnolia tree, and the fence already from the neighbor from 21 is already 8 feet tall.
So you want it taller, the screening? That's fine. I'm okay with.
No, I think I'm saying that I worry a little bit that I acknowledge that the current deck's quite narrow, and I get that they want to make it functional. And what I'm struggling with is there is an existing deck, significantly less functional than what's proposed. I do think they're cramming a lot in the proposal from a functionality standpoint. Dining deck, they're gonna, it's big enough to have some seating. They already use it now. They're gonna use it a lot more. I'm worried that it's just the nature of that location and how close these are together and the elevation change.
I actually disagree, because if you look at the plan right now, because of the stair, you're actually pushing everything this way. By putting the stairs here, it actually pushes things south.
But when I was in the property.
Yeah.
When I was in the property.
Yeah.
It is the angle and the orientation of the two houses. And that's the unfortunate situation, is they are not, parallel to each other looking out. They are angled towards each other's properties. And as you push that out, your vantage point grows more and more to the neighbor. And you're at a height difference that I do feel that there is increased privacy concerns for the neighbor.
Both sides.
For both sides.
Both
Agreed.
sides.
I agree. And I think in the perfect world, we would say, hey, we're just going to do some planting and it's going to solve the problems. But I think that is a very big risk in this situation, given the location of the existing magnolia tree, the height of already these laurels, this screening, these are already 8 feet. Like, if you put those 2 feet more, these have to effectively double in size. And then you're at a wall, right? There's going to be 15-foot hedge for the neighbor across the whole property line. I think that, I would imagine that might have quite a bit of sunlight impact and things like that. So I don't think it's as easy as just like, let's just add some screening, because I think there's a lot of risks in that solution.
You don't think essentially a 2-foot additional screening takes care of that privacy issue?
I don't think so. I think
It's there right now. I mean, it's
there right
it's
now.
there
It's
right
pretty-
now. They're not pushing it out like 20 feet. They're pushing it out 5'8". So like we can play with the amount, but it's so nominal. If you looked at the tape when we were out there, the flag, it was pretty small. It's not like it's not a very huge deck increase. And so it's already there. The condition is that they already can.
So and that's where I'm, if this was a brand new deck and picked that location, I think I would be probably against it, but I agree with you. There is an existing condition. It is still a 9-foot deck right now. It's not like sometimes we see these 4-foot kind of ledges, right? It's still usable. Is there anything else we have in the past on a couple occasions had like hard privacy screens, like structures? I think we did one on Bastazo. Is that worth exploring? It could look super cool or super ugly. I don't know. Like, there are some other options. I guess I'm asking the board, are there other options from a privacy screen perspective that would benefit both neighbors, that is not just a bit of a gamble on landscaping?
Well, it can't be a wall. I mean, because you're talking
We've
about,
done-
you're looking for something 8 to
Yeah, but
10
you're
feet.
talking at 10 feet. That's
what
a
you
little
have.
unusual.
You need to solve all your problems.
Yeah.
It's about 2 more feet.
Here's where I stand. I'm okay with something that doesn't drop its leaves during the winter. Something that is like an evergreen sort of type of plant that creates a screen. And it's better than what it is now.
Is there enough planting space on That magnolia, right? That is. the
But
neigh-
but they want to put it on their side, the planting,
Agreed.
right? Yeah.
But
So that'll help.
Like, where is this going? Like, is there?
It's right here. It's along here.
And is there, do we feel that is enough planting space?
He said that there was 10 feet. So I don't know if there's 10 feet there, but there's some here. So you would probably start it here at the roof line right here and bring it all the way across.
It's a depth of 10 feet.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think it isn't right here. It looks like it's less, it's half that length. It's
Yeah, but that's the way
it's like
marked,
5
though.
feet. It's like 5-6 feet right there. But the thing is, if you start here and that's 6, 7, 8, 10 feet there, that takes care of most of the length of the tread. So if you start from the roof line all the way down as far as you can go this way, that's 15, 20 feet. We can just specify like 20 feet of screening at 15 feet, you know.
I'm sorry,
No,
the
you
public.
cannot comment, yeah. So I don't know. I think we can specify from the roof line right here and just say, go that much, about 20 feet, and then we want, 10 feet, pretty a mid-mature sort of planting right there along that screen, along that area.
My perspective is that might be a solution. I think if privacy is a big deal for both parties, I would like to see a landscaping plan and feel comfortable that, I don't think that's unreasonable, but that's my perspective. I mean, there's two of you.
I feel confident about staff being able to resolve this, but if you don't feel confident, then we should think about that, bringing it back with a
I always feel
proper landscape.
confident in staff, but it would be based on our conditions, which I think.
I'm surprised they didn't come in with a landscaping plan. I mean, that's the first or maybe second most important part of this project, and it wasn't here. I think there's a quick and easy, I think there's a resolution, there's a way to solve that, but that wasn't proposed.
So I feel confident that we can do a condition and have staff, if we give sort of big guidelines, that staff can require the applicant to come back with a landscaping plan and evaluate it and see if it works.
So guidelines of coming up with a privacy that minimum of 8 feet, 8 to 10 feet, is that what you need right now to?
I don't see what you mean.
I think what I can say is a planting that grows no higher than 15 feet, because then you start getting into sun issues. I mean, because we already have a tree there, so there's already a tree there. So start from the roof line and then go, I'm not sure of the direction, go towards the pool, 15, 20 feet. I'm okay with that, starting with a mature plant, a semi-mature plant at 10 feet, plant those. And the condition being that it's not permeable, that you can't really see through it very well.
Sure.
Staff would suggest that we potentially continue this item.
Okay.
The reason I say that is we could come up with the greatest idea for landscaping and fire could say absolutely not. So
Okay.
I think to protect the applicant and, the neighbors or whatever we're trying to achieve here with this privacy, we really need to have it fully vetted if that's
Okay.
what we're kind of deciding on.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Maybe I can make a motion to continue it with the applicant, recommending that the applicant comes back with a landscaping plan specifying the exact species
That has been evaluated by.
that has been evaluated by the fire department, with dimensions on it. Because there's very few dimensions on this plan, which is really troubling. So getting dimensions and a planting plan, and also specifying not only the species but the box size of the plant. So
Is it to a date certain or uncertain? You can, please go ahead.
Sorry, I'm just gonna jump in. If it needs to be reviewed by the fire district,
Yeah,
I would feel
assume.
more comfortable with a date uncertain, because
Okay.
I don't.
a date uncertain to allow for the fire department to evaluate the plans. Yes,
Mhm.
please. Okay.
Just a second.
Second,
All those in favor?
Aye.
None opposed. We will continue this project to a date uncertain, 3-0, 2 absent. Thank you. Next.
If I may, again, I am so sorry. We've had some folks come into the chambers after we made the prior decision that the second public hearing item was moved to be first and will not be heard tonight. 110 Mount Tiburon has been continued to a date certain of July 16th. So if you were here for that item, it was we would lose quorum. One of our design review board members lives too close to it. So we're going to have to hear that item on the 16th in case you were here for that.
Great, thank you for, okay, then we will move to public hearing number 3, 215 Blackfield Drive. If the applicant would like to come, you'll have 20 minutes to address the board.
Hear me okay? Excellent. We do have, okay. Just waiting for all about the slide decks. Good evening. I'm Gordon Gladstone. I am the executive director for Congregation Kol Shofar. I'm going to move this light so I can actually see what I'm reading, because that'd be fine with me if it doesn't interfere with people's ability to say things. Oh, that's. Yeah, that's perfect. Thank you. I'm joined this evening by our counsel, Dana Dean of Hanson Bridget, Rabbi Paul Steinberg, our board chair, Daniel Amir, and I think we have a few other members of the congregation who have joined us this evening. Thank you guys for driving down. Kol Shofar was founded in the 1960s and purchased not this building as you see it now, but this property in 1984 from the Reed Union School District. In 2010, we performed a fairly large renovation. Let's see if this is the aerial view of the campus. It's clipped out of the Marin maps and reoriented to match the plans that I'll show in a moment. And that was under the terms of our current CUP, which dates to 2007. The congregation today is about 500 households, ranging from young families to great-grandparents. We strive to be good neighbors with all of those who are close by and have a very good relationship with the Vista Tiburon HOA, which was actually developed out of some of the same land the school district sold. Our parking lots and footpaths suffer from inadequate lighting. I'm just going to flip over to the plan. This is our demolition plan. And this results in congregants having to carefully find their way in the dark. Some congregants choosing not to participate in programs, especially in the winter months when darkness comes early. And this project aims to rectify that. Just going to flip ahead. This is the proposed lighting plan, but I think this is the most helpful illustration we have. As presented, this project will update the lighting across our parking lots, footpaths, and exterior spaces. It will result in 2 outcomes. First, there'll be less light bleed outside of the property. And second, it will improve the illumination for our congregants as they navigate these spaces after sundown, especially on our staircases and footpaths that connect the building to the upper and lower parking lots. We have branded flashlights that we keep in a bucket by the front door. It's the little Kol Shofar logo. I think this one has a working battery in it. Yeah. Some people hand out umbrellas. We do this. This is so that congregants, especially those who have trouble seeing in the dark, can get to their cars, hopefully without injuring themselves. So we're hoping the board will approve this project so we can rectify this. This is something that dates back well before our last renovation. It was never addressed, and we're hopeful that we can do this now. We have funding through Cal OES, California Office of Emergency Services, as part of the nonprofit security program that addresses security and safety issues at nonprofits. We're under a timeline with that. The grant was part of the 25 cycle. We were awarded this about almost a year ago, but we have to spend the money by December 31st of this year. We've been working on this project now for about 2.5 years. And I think we've been in conversation with city staff for Savannah, what is it? It's been about a year or more. So just to get us to this point. So we're hopeful that all of our I's are dotted and our T's are crossed, and you guys will see fit to greenlight our project. Thank you.
I have some questions. I couldn't see. Sorry, my eyes are really bad, and I was trying to look at the lighting plan. What lights are at the highest lights? The highest in terms of elevation, and then I know that on the upper parking lot you guys have some low lights, and so looking at the key on, sorry, my eyes are so bad. Yeah, the key on E111, like, are the green ones, or is there a color pattern to which ones are going to be like building lights? I mean, obviously the building lights are attached to the building, but
Right.
Which ones are the tall lights and which ones are sort of lower lights? And
So everything in the upper parking lot are bollards.
Okay. How tall are they? Is it the 8'6" or is it?
No, they are like 4
4
foot
feet.
something.
Okay,
Yeah.
got it. Okay.
And that's to conform with our existing CUP.
Okay.
So the only places where we have the taller lights are either on the staircase itself.
Okay.
Because it's an egress, and that I am informed by our light designer is a code issue.
Yeah.
And the lower parking lot, those are taller. So I believe those are 8-foot poles on bases. Currently, there are 3 poles on the retaining wall, on the uphill retaining wall. And, so if you look through the letters, there's a letter from Mr. Winters, who lives across the street, and I actually bumped into him yesterday, and we chatted. And his issue is he's got these old lights that bleed light all over the place, and it's just and he's down below it. So even with the shielding, he's sort of underneath it because of where it's mounted, and it's aimed to like cast light across the parking lot, and the newer lights would cast light in the other direction away from his house.
Okay. And I know you guys come back before. I thought it was like a couple years ago, like there was was it the paving plan or something was going on, or?
That was probably before my time.
Okay.
I've been with the congregation for almost 3 years now.
Okay.
I was handed this portfolio when I walked in the door. They were like, here's the lighting, project.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
yeah.
Are there any plans to do also a paving?
So we do have a hope of securing funding to at least repave the lower parking lot. If those of you who drove through it may have said, wow, this could use some fresh asphalt. But it would be a like for like.
Okay.
So it wouldn't expand the footprint of the parking lot, and it would adhere to exact same CUP mandated parking pattern that we have currently.
Okay. And then my last question is, are these lights for Monday through Friday, Saturday? Like what?
Yeah, it's all governed under our CUP when the lights can be on.
Okay.
These actually are an improvement on our existing ones. The existing ones are on mechanical timers. These also have motion sensors.
Oh, okay.
So that if, it's right. So right now the lights are supposed to go off by 10 o'clock. But an empty parking lot with an empty building, why have the lights on? But if somebody drives in or walks in, they should be able to see. So this technology, I'm told by my lighting designer, will.
Because the CEC probably mandates something like that, right? Motion detecting type of thing to be energy efficient. So.
Yes, you're out beyond my grasp of the building code now.
Okay.
Council? Yes. Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
And these are all down lights, right? Everything I saw in here was the down lighting.
Everything is downlight, shielded. There are no floodlights. I understand floodlights are the boogeyman. We did actually run into something that was, I think, labeled a floodlight, but it's not actually a floodlight. It's like a nomenclature issue. So,
Yeah, I think you have one that can be moved, but it's in a downlight position. Yeah,
right.
that's what I saw. Okay.
If there are no other questions from the board, thank you very much. We'll open it to the public.
All right. Thank you.
Yes, members of the public, you'll have 3 minutes. We'll just wait for them to, and then. Please state your name and, for the record.
My name is David Louie. I own a house at 21 North Terrace in Tiburon, and I used to be a member of Kol Shofar, and my flight is a red eye tonight, and so I have a little bit of time, and I saw the agenda item. I thought I'd lend a hand. They do need the lights. I mean, walking up there in the dark, I remember one night I went right over, and those steps are hard. You hit the steps, and if you hit a rib, you can crack a rib. And I think it's an important addition. And there's something that's unsaid here that's a little uncomfortable. We're in a world of really heightening anti-Semitism, and to have these lights, very important. To have the city support these lights, very important, because it shows that you care. And the Jewish community needs that.
Great, thank you very much. Next, please state your name and address, and about 3 minutes.
My name is Bart Gershbein. I live at 185 Stewart Drive. I'm a member of Kol Shofar. Anti-Semitism is real. 23andMe was corrupted by somebody. There's a fellow up in Petaluma who was sending out anti-Semitic notes to Jewish residents of Tiburon, including me. And it was well documented in Midnight J. And we live in a world that's going to be increasingly angry at Israel for whatever reason. And if this improves our safety, it's very important. And if it's it doesn't get done, I think the temple's at risk. And it's real. I don't know if you remember the guy's name in Petaluma. This happened about, I don't know, 5 years ago, 6 years ago. He actually was arrested outside of Auschwitz, in Poland. He was put in jail, not in this country. But the great irony is the world's changing, and security is important for Jewish, denominated religious places.
Thank you.
Thank you. So it's my name is Daniel Meir. I'm actually the chair of the Planning Commission. So it's funny to be on this side of the world. I'm usually sitting, Alex, in your chair. I'm out here as part of the Planning Commission. I'm a resident of Tiburon. I live in 22 Juneau Road. I'm also the president of Kol Shofar. So that's kind of my side job, I guess, on top of the other stuff I'm doing. I think, look, the Kol Shofar is really an important institution here in the community. It serves its residents of Tiburon and the broader Marin area. For many years, the campus, unfortunately, has operated with outdated lighting that is both inadequate and somewhat inconsistent with the modern safety and security standards. The proposed project is replacing kind of the existing lighting with a much more controlled and efficient and less intrusive system. The new fixtures are shielded, directed downward, and subject to strict operating times. The project does comply with the conditions of the existing CUP that we've reviewed obviously in the past and the planning, and really provides a much needed improvement to campus safety. So this is really a safety issue. There's many older congregants at Kol Shofar. And it just creates this current lighting creates kind of this risk of trip and falls constantly. So improving the visibility throughout the campus will provide a much better protect the visitors and reduce any liability concerns, not only for Kol Shofar, but I think the town overall. As some of the fellow members said, it also better lighting also contributes to improved security. There's rising threats and attacks against Jewish institutions across the U.S. in recent years. And I think reasonable measures that strengthen safety and security should be encouraged, and in a way, we and the town share this responsibility. So the proposed improvements, represent, I think, a thoughtful and measured approach that balances the security needs with sensitivity to the surrounding neighborhood. And as Executive Director Gordon said, we do have this State of California grant. It is time sensitive, not that that's of course a reason to approve or not approve an applicant. I've been in your seats. But it would be grateful if this would be approved in order for Congregation Kol Shafar to kind of move forward this year on the project. Thank you.
Thanks very much. Is there anyone else in the room that wishes to address the board?
Hi, my name is Carol Freed. I live at on Lyford 92. What do I live on? Boy, long day. Sorry, I just came back from a trip, so I'm a little jet lagged. 92 Red Hill Circle. I've been a Tiburon resident for over 25 years and a member of Congregation Kol Shafar as well. So just to give you an example, this is what I have to take every night when it's dark when I leave Kol Shafar. This is the size of the light that I need in order to see, to find my way and light the path for others to their cars. The current condition is really untenable in terms of people stumbling. People use their iPhones, which are totally insufficient to find their way to their car. My profession, I'm a health and safety professional, so preventing accidents, slip, trips, and falls is a big part of what I've spent my life doing. And the current condition is really an accident waiting to happen. As Daniel said, the project is compliant with code regulations in terms of the type of lighting, downward facing, really trying to be a good neighbor to the community, but it's really time. The liability issue is certainly there. And I think we'd all feel terrible if someone really hurt themselves. I think we would all own that as a shared responsibility, the synagogue, as well as the design review board, for how long this process honestly has taken. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else in the room? Seeing none, is there anyone on the Zoom?
I do see one hand raised. Daniel, if you can hear me, I'm going to allow you to speak. It'll take just a second to connect.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
We can hear you.
Yeah, my name's Daniel Rebish. I'm actually one of the electrical engineers working on this project. So I just wanted to make myself known. I am here to answer any technical questions you guys may have.
Great, thanks very much. Anyone else on the Zoom?
I see no other hands raised.
Okay, great. The applicant does have 5 minutes to address the board, but you're welcome to yield if nothing else to say. All right, thanks very much. We'll close public comment and kick it off. Anyone want to start?
Sure, I will. It's I did as much research and trying to understand the lighting as I possibly could. It looks like a very thorough presentation. It's smart, it's necessary. I have no problem in supporting that.
Susan?
I find it curious why the design report is taking on a health and safety issue, because I do think this is a health and safety issue. So it's a weird anomaly, right, that it came to us. So my kids both went to the preschool there. So I've tripped in the parking lot. So, and those stairs are really scary because they're open. So it's scary. So absolutely, I support this. And I don't have a lighting engineering degree. So this is definitely beyond my understanding of technical. So I can't even understand. Sorry. I mean, I could read the plans and stuff, but this is way beyond me. And I'm sure it's been reviewed by a lighting engineer. So I'm okay with this as is.
Yeah, I think it comes to us because it was part of a town council resolution that it's supposed to. But I agree with both, the members of the community that spoke and my board members that lighting is very important, both from a safety and health issue. So I can trust staff's recommendation and approve this as is. So I would be looking for a motion to adopt a draft resolution, which I think we have.
Yeah, I'd like to make a motion to adopt the draft resolution. Do we have to say that it's categorically exempt from CEQA?
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
None. The motion passes 3-0 with 2 absent. And that is the last item on tonight's calendar. So adjournment. Thank you very much, everyone.